ॐ गणानान्त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं वीणामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणस्पत नः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ हृदाकाशे सदा भान्तं शान्तमानन्दरूपिणम् ज्ञानभानुमहं वन्दे सद्गुरुं सत्यसायिनम् ॐ गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ श्रीमेधा दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः अस्मत्श्रीगुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः सप्ताश्वरथमारूढं प्रचण्डं कश्यपात्मजं श्वेतपद्मधरं देवं तं सूर्यं प्रणमाम्यहम् ॐ ह्रां ह्रीं ह्रूं ह्रैं ह्रौं ह्रः मित्ररविसूर्यभानुखगपूषहिरण्यगर्भमरीच्यादिच्च सवित्रार्कभास्करेभ्यो नमः ॐ घृणिसूर्य आदित्य ॐ घृणिसूर्य आदित्य ॐ घृणिसूर्य आदित्य अतिताम्राणि वासागुंसे अष्टिवज्रशतिघ्निचाम् ॐ अतिताम्राणि वासागुंसे अष्टिवज्रशतघ्नि च विश्वे देवा विप्रहरन्ति अग्निजिह्वा असश्चताम् नैव देवो न मर्त्यः नाराजा वरुणो विभुः नाग्निर्नेन्द्रो न पवमानः मातृकच्चन विद्यते दिव्यस्यैका धनुरार्त्निः पृथिव्यामपराश्रिता ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Offering our collective love at the divine lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hari Om, Shalom, Sai Ram, Namaste. Let us all be together. Let us all be nourished together. Let us all work together with great vigor. May our studies shine and illumine our intellects. May we not hate or contradict each other. May we all be eyes in seeing that. May we all be ears in hearing that. May our bodies be like steel to do the work. May our lifespan be expended only for doing the divine work. May we all have the well being in the Supreme Consciousness. May we all have the well being in the Supreme Intellect that governs us. May we all be focused like that eagle that's focused on eliminating anything evil. And let us all be present. Yesterday, we started the fifth Anuvaka, which is the continuation of the Shishira Ritu or the winter from the last mantra, the 14th mantra, where there is scarcity of water that is noticed and generally much less water vapor with extreme cold, and how noticing that the Vaidyutas, that means the one who govern the well-being in the nature. Vaidya is means a doctor. It is translated improperly, I would say. The root of it is Vidyut. Vidyut means again colloquially translated as electricity. Vidyut is not electricity. Ut means uprising. Vid means knowledge. Uprising of awareness or knowledge is what is called Vidyut. Noticing that there is scarcity of water, they decided to appeal to the fire, which is in this context the leader of all the gods as the consciousness, to shower grace upon the mortals that are living on the earth and also up above, both the divine and the ones that are on the earth, Martyaha. Then asking to give this wind that is full of, filled with the grace of sun god as the race of the grace as his race. And therefore, the Vishwe Devas are now invoked, who have the vesture of the deep blood red color and carrying all kinds of weapons, lances, spears, artillery, to eliminate the enemies with the tongues that are like fires and declaring loudly that no equivalent can be seen to them. May they be gods, mortals, moon, the god of rain, the lords of the universe, not even the Agni, the Indra, or the wind. Matrukachana vidyate. Madruk, madrukatchana vidyate is matrukachana vidyate. And then this cosmic bow is invoked. Divyasya eka. Divya asya eka dhanuhu artinihi. Prithivyam apara shrita. There is this cosmic bow, and this cosmic bow, the ends, one end of the cosmic bow is on the earth, and the other end is in the heavenly worlds, apara. Prithivyam apara shrita. Apara means that which is beyond, the ultimate. Now we come to the 16th mantra, and this, listening to this requires a lot of attention and focus. Here we begin a so-called a Puranic, what we call as a story kind of a telling here. And this story will be so confusing. We will be clueless. What are they even talking here? Will not make any sense whatsoever. That is the beauty of, as we noticed, every time there is a concept that is introduced that's beyond comprehension, there will be some kind of a story, like the story of the two friends, or a declarations, what are called Brahmanas, seemingly not related to what is the foresaid in the mantras. All of it only to complete this, called in Zen Buddhism they're called kwans. The teacher will tell something which the student will have to pay so much attention, that they get confused. What is this? Such is the next set of mantras. Let's learn the mantra, and then once we learn the mantra, we'll get into the next aspect of understanding the meaning. Tasyendro vamrirupena
Tasyendro vamrirupena
dhanurjamachinas swayam.
dhanurja machinat swayam.
Very good. In some texts, it is written as machinat swayam. That is incorrect. There is no double cha. What is in this is correct. I know some people are going finding other texts, or they'll find it convenient to chant from a book they are used to. Don't do that, because there are errors and mistakes, and those could be potentially printing mistakes, but also not aware of what the meaning of the also is. So it is not Dhanurja Machina Swayam. I used to chant like Machina Swayam because in Shrotra Nidhi it was like that. So it was convenient for me to use Stotra Nidhi on my iPhone and chant. So then I noticed I have been chanting incorrectly based on Stotra Nidhi. It is not Machinat Swayam, it is Machinat Swayam. Okay. Tat Om Tasyendro Vamrirupena
Om tasyendro vamrirupena tasyendro vamrirupena
Dhanurjamachinat Swayam.
dhanurjamachinat swayam dhanurjamachinat swayam
Tasyendro Vamrirupena Dhanurjamachinat Swayam.
tasyendro vamrirupena sorry tasyendro vamrirupena dhanurjamachinat swayam.
So there is this bow that is described in the previous two lines. Tasyaha Indraha Vamrirupena Dhanuhu Jam Achinat Swayam. That is, so he is pointing out. You look at the screen that is pointing out where he is showing the individual words. You have access to this also in all languages. Padapatha is now created, and you can, when you are doing the study, you can refer to that so that you understand what are the words. Tasya Indraha Vamri Rupena Dhanurjam Achinat Swayam. It becomes Achinat Swayam. Indraha. This is the Puranic god Indra now. He became a super termite, Vamri Rupena. He took the form of a super termite. You know, termites that bite the wood, that would destroy the wood. So he became a super termite, Vamri Rupena. What did he do? Dhanuhu Jam. So there it has to be split in the Padapatha. It is not Dhanur Jam, so it is Dhanuhu Jam. Jam. What is Jam? Jam is the string of the bow. Pramuncha dhanvanastva mubhayo ra mubhayorartniyor jam. Jam. Ja is the string. What did he do, this termite, super termite? He took the form of a super termite, Achinat Swayam, and beat it off. So this Puranic god Indra took the form of a super termite, and he went, and by himself he has beat off this string of the bow that is spanning from earth to the heavens. a supreme bow. Divyasya eka dhanuhu artnihi. This is the Divyasya eka dhanuhu, unique bow. That is Divya, that is wonderful. Then what happened? Tadindra dhanurityajam.
तदिन्द्रधनुरित्यजम्
Okay. Tadindra dhanurityajam.
तदिन्द्रधनुरित्यजम् त्यज्यम्
Jam, yes, it's
जम्
jam.
जम्
Tadindra dhanurityajam.
तदिन्द्रधनुरित्यज्यम्.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I said jam. It should be jam. Okay. One more time. Tadindra dhanurityajam.
तदिन्द्रधनुरित्यज्यम्.
Abhravarneshu chakshate.
अभ्रवर्णेषु चक्षते.
Om Tadindra dhanurityajam.
ॐ तदिन्द्रधनुरित्
Tadindra dhanurityajam.
तदिन्द्रधनुरित्यज्यम्. तदिन्द्रधनुरित्यज्यम्.
Abhravarneshu chakshate.
अभ्रवर्णेषु चक्षते. अभ्रवर्णेषु चक्षते.
Om Tadindra dhanurityajam. Abhravarneshu chakshate.
ॐ तदिन्द्रधनुरित्यज्यम्. अभ्रवर्णेषु चक्षते.
So now what happened? Tat Indradhanuhu iti. That is when the Indradhanus has formed. People, when we were studying the rainy season, they were asking, what happened to rainy season? Because it is Vishvedeva. Now, in that mantra, we are saying that different colors are associated with that some Varsha Ritu. That's not the thing. Here, Indradhanus has coming here. Tat Indradhanuhu iti. That is what is called Tat. That became Indradhanus. What became Indradhanus? The Divyasyeka, that unique bow that was spanning from earth to heavens. After the super termite Indra has bitten off the string, what it has became? It became Ajam without the string. Indradhanuhu iti Ajam. Jam means string. Ajam means without string. Tat Indradhanuhu iti Ajam. And then what is that Indradhanuhu looking like? Chakshate. It is looking like Abhravarneshu with multicolor. Varna means color. Abhravarneshu means multicolored because of the rain droplets that are within the clouds. Abhraha means rain droplet in the cloud. The rain droplet in the cloud then created this multicolored Indradhanusu that doesn't have a string. I'm describing what you are seeing in the nature. Not they're describing exactly what is seen in the nature and also what is not seen in the nature. What is seen in the nature? This Indradhanus, the rainbow, has no string in it. Have you ever seen a string of the Indradhanus has no string. If it has a string, then it will be erect, but it is fallen down. It is coming out and falling down. Therefore, it is Ajam. And it is a Abhravarneshu Chakshate. It appears multicolored, and that multicolors of the Indradhanus has occurred because of the rain droplets in the cloud. Now, what are you talking about? Who has discovered who has observed? I don't even want to call discovered. Who has observed this beautiful phenomenon and called it a rainbow, Indradhanus? A rainbow came because the bow appears because of the rain and the combination of the sunlight. That is why it's called rainbow. But in Sanskritam, it is called Indradhanus. Why it became Indradhanus? Because this Indra, taking a super termite form, went and bit off this beautiful Dhanus that was stringed from earth to heaven. Divyasya eka dhanuhu artnehi pruthivyam aparasrita tasyendro vamri rupena dhanurja machinat swayam tadindra dhanurityajam abhravarneshu chakshate. So now we looked at the rainbow formation. Arey, what is this bow to begin with? Who owned this bow? Why did it come to Indra? Why did Indra has to bite off? Bite off only the string. What have this is all the story. Stay tuned, listen carefully. Rudrasyatveva sorry. Etadeva senyo barhaspatyasya. Etadeva shemyor barhaspatyasya.
एतदेव संयोर्बार्हस्पत्यस्य
One more time.
एतदेव संयोर्बार्हस्पत्यस्य
Etadrudrasya dhanuhu.
एतद्रुद्रस्य धनुः.
So now let's chant and then I'll tell the meaning. एतदेव संयोर्बार्हस्पत्यस्य
एतदेव संयोर्बार्हस्पत्यस्य एतदेव संयोर्बार्हस्पत्यस्य
एतद्रुद्रस्य धनुः
एतद्रुद्रस्य धनुः एतद्रुद्रस्य धनुः.
एतत्, now look at the words. एतत् एव शम योः बार्हस्पति अस्या बार्हस्पत्यस्य. Barhaspati is the another variation in the name of Bruhaspati. Bruhaspati asya yoh sham etat eva. Before this Indra has beat it off, it was possessed by the son of Bruhaspati called Sham. Sham yoh Barhaspati asya etat eva. That is the way you have to understand the sentence. So, before even that, etat rudrasya dhanuhu. This bow belonged to Rudra. Etat rudrasya dhanuhu. This bow belonged to Rudra. Wow. So, this is what we are calling Rudra's bow, described in Sri Rudram so many times. What is that dhanus? That is the dhanus. It's not Pinakam. It's even before he was holding a Pinakam, he was holding this dhanus, the supreme dhanus, divyasya, wonderful dhanus, ekaha, unique, whose ends spanned from earth to the heavens. Then what this Rudra was doing, Rudra is always in meditation. So while he was in meditation, so that his chin won't drop, because we know even Rudra has the same problem. In meditation, he will doze off. Huh? I'm telling it lightly. But what happens is, like a kamandalu is put for as a rest for the right shoulder. He has put this bow. Now you can imagine this. Therefore, what is this Rudra? This Rudra is also spanning from Prithvi to heavens, from earth to heavens. He is spanning. So he has a bow like that. And then what did he do? He put one end on the earth, and the other end he put it under his chin, uh, under his chin, and meditating. Now, when you have it like that, and somebody comes and bites off, a termite came and bit off that string, uh, the tension of this bow got released, and that when it released it like that, this poor fellow's head got cut off and it fell on the earth. That's why I said you have to listen to this very, very carefully. Okay. Rudrasyatveva dhanurartnihi.
रुद्रस्य त्वेव धनुरार्त्निः
Shira utpipesha.
शिर उत्पिपेष
Utpipesha.
उत्पिपेष
Sapravargyo bhavat.
सप्रवर्ग्योऽभवत्
Tasmadjas sapravargyena yajnena yajate.
तस्माद्यः सप्रवर्ग्येण यज्ञेन याजते
Yajate.
यज्ञेन यजते
Tasmadjas sapravargyena yajnena yajate.
तस्माद्यः सप्रवर्ग्येण यज्ञेन यजते.
So let's learn the mantra. Rudrasya tveva dhanurartnihi.
रुद्रस्य त्वेव धनुरार्त्निः रुद्रस्य त्वेव धनुरार्त्निः
Shira utpipesha.
शिर उत्पिपेष शिर उत्पिपेष
Sapravargyo bhavat.
सप्रवर्ग्यो भवत् सप्रवर्ग्यो भवत्
Tasmadjas sapravargyena yajnena yajate.
तस्माद्यः सप्रवर्ग्येण तस्माद्यः सप्रवर्ग्येण यज्ञेन यजते तस्माद्यः सप्रवर्ग्येण यज्ञेन यजते.
One more time.
तस्माद्यः सप्रवर्ग्येण यज्ञेन यजते.
Okay. Tasmadyasa. Okay. Because there is a visarga, right? So tasmadyasa pravargyena. Rgaya. Rgyena. Tasmadyasa pravargyena yajnena yajate.
तस्माद्यः सप्रवर्ग्येण यज्ञेन यजते.
One more time.
तस्माद्यः सप्रवर्ग्येण यज्ञेन यजते.
Okay. See now, beautifully. What is, okay, I have to chant the 4 lines. Om Rudrasya त्वेव धनुरार्तिनीः शिर उत्पिपेश सप्रवर्ग्यो भवत् तस्माद्यः सप्रवर्ग्येण यज्ञेन यजते.
रुद्रस्य त्वेव धनुरार्त्निः शिर उत्पिपेष सप्रवर्ग्यो भवत् तस्माद्यः सप्रवर्ग्येण यज्ञेन यजते.
Good. It's very hard. What he's doing is very hard. You're doing wonderful. Okay. Rudrasya. Now let's look at the words. Rudrasya tu eva dhanuhu artnihi. That becomes Rudrasya tveva dhanurartnihi. Visargas are there, no? Rudrasya tu eva dhanuhu artnihi. Literally what it means is when the string artnihi of Rudra's bow, Rudrasya, when it was severed or bit off, then dhanuhu artnihi, the upper end of the bow, siraha utpipesha, cut off Rudra's head, as I just described. Then what happened to that head? Saha pravargya abhavat. That severed head of the Rudra became what is called pravargyam. Pravargyam is something that is offered during Agniketuka Chayana, Jyotishtoma Yajna, Atiratra Yajna. They do what is this called pravargyam. What that pravargyam is, I will describe later. That is what the next mantra is saying. Tasmat yaha sa pravargyena yajnena yajate. That is offered as pravargyam as a havis in the yajna. Yajnena yajate. Yajate is the havis. Yajnena in the yajna. Tasmat yaha sa pravargyena. That cut off head is offered as pravargyam in a yajna. Let's also finish the next two lines. That will be conclusion of the 16th mantra. Rudrasya sasiraha Rudrasya sasirah pratidadhati.
रुद्रस्य सशिरः प्रतिदधाति.
Nainagum rudra aruko bhavati.
नैनगुं रुद्र आरुको भवति.
Ya evam veda.
य एवं वेद.
Rudrasya sashirah pratidadhati.
रुद्रस्य सशिरः प्रतिदधाति.
रुद्रस्य सशिरः प्रतिदधाति.
रुद्रस्य सशिरः प्रतिदधाति. रुद्रस्य सशिरः प्रतिदधाति.
नैनगुं रुद्र आरुको भवति.
नैनगुं रुद्र.
Sir, correct. You are correct. I made a mistake. Nainagum rudra aruko bhavati.
Nainagum rudra. Oh, sorry.
Correct. You are correct.
Nainagum rudra आरुको भवति नैनगुं रुद्र आरुको भवति
य एवं वेद.
य एवं वेद य एवं वेद.
See this ya evam veda. Most of the people don't even take a small pause that is required there, and it's like evam veda. They chant like that, but there is a purpose of that. You are taking a small pause to understand all of this. Ya evam veda. This is all what is to be known. What is all to be known? Rudrasya. Okay, now let's I'll chant the full lines one more time. Om Rudrasya Sashirah Pratidadhati Nainagum Rudra Aruko Bhavati Ya Evam Veda.
रुद्रस्य सशिरः प्रतिदधाति नैनगुं रुद्र आरुको भवति य एवं वेद.
So in this yajna, what is happening? Rudrasya sa shiraha pratidadhati. In this yajna, Rudra's head is put back. And the one who does that, na enam Rudraha arukaha bhavati. The one who understands the meaning behind all of this will never be hurt by Rudra. How many people are chanting this? This whole thing, story, what is it? The one who really understands this and becomes aware of this, evam Veda, then what happens? They will never be hurt by Rudra. What is the aruko? But this word aruko bhavati, harmed by Rudra. The one who evam Veda, what? Rudrasya sasiraf pratidadhati. Why all this story, the entirety of this story? There is so much to unpack. There is so much to unpack in this mantras. In this entire mantra that contains 13 lines. 13 lines. This 13 lines that are packed in this has so much to unpack. What is there in this? It's filled with science. It's filled with fiction. It's filled with mythology. It's filled with symbolism. It's filled with spirituality and even poetry. Such an integrated mantra that is apparently telling. In fact, what happens is all of this mixed, in fact, becomes very hard to comprehend, and it requires definitely the grace of Jnana Bhanu Maham Vande Sadgurum Satyasainam. Jnana Bhanu also is the only one that can actually unravel all of what is happening here. So let's now, I'll chant this whole mantra because it's a beautiful story kind of a telling. Let's look at the entire mantra. Om Tasyendro Vamrirupena Dhanurjamachinat Swayam Tadindradhanurityajam Abhravarneshu Chakshate Etadeva Shanyorbarkaspatyasya Etadrudrasya Dhanuhu Rudrasya Tveva Dhanurartnihi Shira पिपेश सप्रवर्ग्यो भवत् तस्माज्जः यज्ञेन यजते रुद्रस्य सशिरः प्रतिदधाति नैनगुं रुद्र आरुको भवति य एवं वेद. So what happened here? Let's recap the story very clearly. There is this unique divine bow, one end of which is on earth, the other end in the heavens. And such a unique bow, this Puranic Indra, the leader of the gods, here is Puranic Indra only. Indra Shabda is that only. He took the form of a super termite and he went and bit it off, bit the string off that bow. Then that bow fell. Instead of going to the sky, one end is still on earth, no? And the other end from the heavens fell back on the earth because it doesn't have a tightened string. So therefore, this bow extends only from earth to earth, not from earth to heaven. And that bow was called Indradhanus, and that Indradhanus is seen as multiple colors because of the droplets of water that are in the dark clouds. Abhara means dark clouds. The dark cloud rain droplets created this multicolored Indradhanus, which goes from earth to earth and no longer from earth to heaven. But then in the process, what has happened is, there is a reminder here. Even though it is called Indradhanus, this Dhanus never belonged to Indra. It is called Indradhanus, but it is not Indra's Dhanus. This Dhanus, to begin with, was owned by Rudra himself. And then Shem, the son of Brihaspati, took care of it. You have to follow every single line I am saying. Unless you really follow every single line, you will not connect to the inner meaning of this. Every single line you have to really get it etched. It's like a tapas, it's meditation. That's what this body does. Every single line, not just yesterday or when I was selling. There is a process of study. And the process of study is not just learning mantra and chanting mantra. Then you have to do manana. It is a Shravana, first Shravana. You have to listen to yourself, how you are chanting. What is the vibration behind it? Then you put the effort of focused concentration to chant the mantra. Then you actually, for a number of hours, now this is the meditation that is done, not any other meditation. It then contemplates on it. First concentrate on it, then contemplate on it, then meditate on it. Concentrate, contemplate, meditate. In the concentration, you are 100% focused with the mind in the concentration. And that mind should not be deviated from the vibration associated with it. That is what is called you chant the mantra. Then there is contemplation. It comes back. It then is analyzed by the intellect, and the intellect goes into it. What is the shabdam? What is the ardham? What is the sound vibration? And what is it is conveying? Then it becomes meditate. Then you no longer chant the mantra. Mantra begins to chant you. The mantra will open up itself and it will start revealing what it wants to tell you, not what your intellect wants to make out of it. So that's what is called total, the observed, the process of observing, and the object, all of those three will merge into each other. I hope you're following what I'm saying. Before there was an observed and an object and the process of observation. That is what is called concentration. That's what's called concentration. There is an object, you are the observer, and you are observing the object. So there are three things: the object, the observer, and the process of observing. That's what's called concentration, focus. Then this observation results in some understanding, that is called mananam. Then there is knowledge that is created in all the three. That's called triputi. Why we put the triputi like this? That crosses across, erases identity. This creates identity. This is triputi. And the triputi is object, observer, and the process of observing. And in meditation, nididhyasan, all the three merge. And what remains is awareness. Now, in telling this story, as I was going through this, you should have a focused mind in completely focusing on every word that is being said. Every word. What is that? So there is this dhanus, and this dhanus. Now I'm telling multiple times because it has to really go through that process. We are all thinking all this Veda learning business is getting in touch of a guru. He knows how to chant, and then you all get into that business. That is not what is Veda chant. Ye evam Veda. This is what you have to become aware of. So then this dhanus that is straight from earth to heavens belong to Rudra and was taken care later by Shem, who is the son of Bruhaspati. Underline every character. How many characters have come so far? What objects have come so far? Who are the characters? Puranik Indra. What did he become? Super termite. What did he do? Bit the string of this wonderful, unique bow. Then what happened? When he bit off that string, because of the release of the tension, the upper end cut the head off of Rudra, whose chin was on this bow while he was meditating. And then that cut off head fell on the earth. It became what are called pravargyam. And that pravargyam is used as havis in the yajna. And that pravargyam process reunites, puts the head back on Rudra. And the one who understands the meaning of all of this, or not even understand, becomes aware of all of this, will never be harmed by Rudra. Or that is what the mantra actually literally says. Okay. What time is it? Oh, 10 minutes. All the characters are clear? I forgot two characters. Can anybody tell which two characters I forgot in the story?
The rishi who is telling all this?
Brihaspati.
Brihaspati and Shyam.
Oh.
Correct. That's correct. Arey, black box and Baitigra Balaji. Sub Pravargya Pudibadi head. I have to reunite the head of Balaji on him. Otherwise, it's a black box. Let me reunite your head. Yeah, there you go. Head is united. That's why black box is darkness. Okay. Question answer చేసేటప్పుడు మోహన్ చూపించాలంది లేదా బల్ల కింద దాక్కొని సమాధానం చెబుతావా టీచర్కి ఓకే సాయిరామ్ లెట్స్ Shem. So how many characters? You are clear about it. Now, let's look at the, let's take up the let's take up first the multicolored aspect of Indradhanus. Abhravarneshu chakshate. This now science. Let's clear the objective science part out of it. The objective science part of it is Indradhanus. Indradhanus has a multicolors created by the light dispersion of the cloud droplets. So, what is the background of all of this? Shishira Rutu, winter. And what did you learn about Shishira Rutu? This Shishira Rutu is the one that has a complexity of wind associated with light rays. Suryo, Suryo Marichima, not Suryo Marichima Datte. Maruta Suryatvachaha. Maruta Suryatvachaha. So there is light rays that are described there along with light breeze. And that is to bring the humidity into the seeds. Now, the backdrop, how the backdrop is. There is a backdrop behind this story. And then the backdrop also has description of these Vishve Deva who are killing all the enemies that are invincible, and they carry all these weapons. So there is thunder. They're also asaschata. They're making loud noises. That means there is thunder. There is vaidyuta. There is lightning happening. There is a light wind coming. There is sun's rays that are filling this Vidyuta, and then there is rain falling. All of this is happening. See, what is that background? What is that background? Very beautiful. Now, you forgot all of that. You see, suddenly you are in the story and you forgot the backdrop. And the backdrop is saying under such conditions, when the light rays are going through this dark cloud, rain, droplets, it caused Abhravarneshu chakshate. It created this beautiful spectrum of colors that are extending from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. Who discovered light dispersion? Now scientists are disappeared. Now the scientists in Uganda, you should never leave science. No matter, spiritual people should be grounded in science. They should not say science is nonsense. If you say that, you are not a spiritual person. You should not say vaccine is nonsense. Then you are the most ignorant and stupid person.
Newton.
Newton.
Isaac Newton.
Kotta ton Newton. Okay. Newton. Sir Isaac Newton is the father of modern physics. Incredible scientist. All the scientists in modern physics before him, they all thought that it is the prism that is causing the dispersion. It was Sir Isaac Newton who focused on the source, not on the object. Same principle in spirituality. Don't focus on the object, focus on the source. Then he had done multiple experiments. How difficult it was. He was trying to, when he passed the light rays through the first experiment, he saw only 5 colors. He did not see the 7 colors. This is all science we studied, no? I studied this science when I was a kid. Nowadays, they don't even study anything. They'll ask ChatGPT and put the answer there. It's all artificial intelligence. There is no real intelligence. So, when he saw the 5 colors, then he refined his experiments. He created even a much smaller slit, and then through which is taking the light rays, very refined through this prism. And that created that beautiful, reproducible observation, pratyaksha pramana, direct evidence that light dispersion is caused when a single light ray is passing through the prism, and that single light ray, through process of reaction, reflection, refraction, and dispersion, all these phenomena, diffraction, that has led to more broader science called X-ray diffraction, that was incredibly useful for studying the three-dimensional structure of proteins and even much subtler level, which this body was involved in studying with a Nobel laureate. And that has created the entire field of spectroscopy, optical physics. That has been a phenomenal invention. So now we should never be confused about, hey, Vedic Rishis already described. What is this modern physics? It's all nonsense. Vedas already described. That is absolute stupidity. Absolute stupidity. Never even say that. What the Vedic Rishis focus is not on light diffraction and light dispersion and all of that stuff. Their focus is completely different. They only observed and reported it. They did not tell you how to actually recreate that. That's the greatness of modern science. Greatness of modern science is it will ask even a dummy fellow to do the experiment again and they will be able to observe it. But this, what the rishis are explaining, it is nothing to do with modern physics or light dispersion, anything. They observed this beautiful phenomenon, which in itself is great. Huh? The observation is right there. It is a abhravarneshu chakshate. But there is also an incredible thing. But tadin tat indraha dhanuhu iti ajjam. So describing this rainbow very poetically. They're describing it beautifully, saying that this is the bow of Indra, which doesn't have a string. So I keep on mentioning highlighting some of these points, because the biggest aspect of spirituality is, the biggest aspect of even not only spirituality, non-dualism, Advaita, is that it does not have conflict with anything. There is no conflict with modern science. There is no conflict saying only my God is God, your God is not God. There is no conflict. There is no conflict that Shiva is the only God or Vishnu is nothing like that. It is 100% integrated. So we respect and revere these great scientists who are the rishis themselves. And the Vedic rishis are actually, their purpose is not experiments with objects. Their purpose is experiments within. Now that is where the Vedic scriptures become an incredible source of wisdom. I'm going to give a talk on Vedas and epistemology end of this month in University of Cape Town, where the neuroscientists are going to actually understand the science of sound and what is epistemology, how does that help create a healthy body and a healthy mind. So that scientific rishis have done great service to humanity in giving these principles that are reproducible. We are very grateful. We should be very grateful to those scientists. But this Vedic Rishi does not stop with relative reality. The Vedic Rishi connects the personal reality with the relative reality to the absolute reality. Therefore, all the three are integrated, and that integrated wisdom is called epistemology. Are you all getting bored? How many of you have become PhDs by this time? Permanently head damaged. So now, do we have time to go into spiritual symbolism of the rainbow story? Let's finish that, because next Saturday there is no class. It's Devi Mahatmyam Parayana from 6:30 California time. As I already mentioned in the last class, an appeal. Don't worry about assembling as big groups. Even if you find 4 or 5 people, come together, sign up, chant together, and get enchanted together. In that collective enlightenment, many of these principles will shine, because your life will become expansion. The one becoming many, or the one in many. So there is one light ray that has become this multicolors. So the 7 colors are present in one ray. What has caused this? Dispersion. Abhravarneshu chakshate. Now we go back to the story of the Indra and the Rudra. This process of, somebody has something to say? Okay, please mute if you are not saying something. So this process of description, okay, you can take off this because you want to look at the mantras. Mantras are over. By this time, mantra is already, the story is already there. Okay. So this process of teaching in the Vedas, it's called apavada. This is a specific process. It is also called adhyaropa. You take something and then you create a symbolism associated with it, unless that symbolic, if you are only stuck with that real story, then you worship Indra and you worship Rudra and you are done with it. But then there is a beautiful adhi aropa. There is something that is superimposed, and that superimposition is in the Vedas, especially in Upanishads, which is Vedanta. By the way, all this stuff, Samhita, and there is Karma Kanda, all of that, the Yajna, Yaga, all of that is Karma Kanda. That studying the Samhita and all of that is fine because you are trying to understand the ritual process. That's all what they does. But then you have to come to really the Vedanta. The end of Veda is called Vedanta. What is that end of Veda? The end of Veda in Vedanta is the supreme wisdom. So this process of superimposition and a confusing story that appears even to be nonsensical to a rational mind. They sound like the story that you went through, it sounds so ridiculous. Like we already said, the two friends, the rational, highly rational, logical minds will immediately abandon. Hey, kya hai yaar? What is all this? I don't know what is Rudra. I only know Nidra. What is this Rudra stuff coming, And who is this Indra? Why is he biting off? Why is he biting off this thing? The fellow has no other business. Somebody is happily resting on a bough and taking a nap. Why this fellow has to go bite off that string? Such a sadistic fellow, no? And on the top of it, if this Rudra is such a powerful guy, why does his head cut off? Is this making any sense to any of you? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So what do you have to do now? You have to hold on to the symbolic association with all of this stuff. So character number 1, Rudra. Who is Rudra? What is Rudra? Character number 1. Character number 1, Rudra means one who makes you cry. One of the meanings at the end of creation. The one who makes you cry all the time. The one who is the primary source of everything. That is another meaning. 18 different meanings of Rudra I have given in the Rudra Jnana Yajna. You should go reflect and recontemplate on what does Rudra mean. And when you contemplate on the meaning of all the Rudra, then you then you begin to understand this Rudra is the one that connects the entire stratosphere from below the earth to all the way to the upper worlds. And what is that? Where is that coming from? Hello, Sairam. What is that? What I am talking in English? What is the Sanskrit basis of that? Correct. That is exactly what I am talking about. This Rudra is connecting from the earth of entire stratosphere all the way to the heavens. Apatala nabhastalanta bhavanat brahmandama visphurat. Jyotis particle linga mauli vilasat purna indu antamrite. Now when you are now mananam, contemplating on the meaning, so that is character, that is Rudra. And that character Rudra has a bow. Namaste astu dhanvane bahubhyamutate namaha. Now you see, we are connecting. There are only three things that matter in at least until for this body, until everything connected to Rudram, everything connected to Devi Matyam from a relative world point of view, and the one that connects these two is Arunam. So this Rudra then is all pervading, and that Rudra has a bow. So the one who is connected to Rudra, and this bow is the gateway from earth to heaven. Direct connection. Rudranuvakan japan dhyaye deepsita siddhaye dhruvapadam viprobhishinche chivam. Dhyana shloka itself is telling you everything. It doesn't even have to go to any analysis, paralysis. This Rudra has a bow. This bow is the gateway, and that gateway is connecting from earth to heaven. And therefore, who is connected to Rudra and through this bow will automatically go from earth to heaven. Don't worry about Saint Peter, Paul, and whatever they said. You have directly this connection. And there is this another character. What is the second character, important character in this? The villain, so-called villain.
Indra.
What is the meaning of Indra in this context? Indra means the action. Indra means that which pulls the senses. So therefore, this Indra, if everybody through Sri Rudram is connected to the heavenly world, and they will become all so many Indras, no? His job security is under threat. He doesn't want you to connect directly from earth to heaven. What is earth? What is heaven? Earth is body consciousness in this context. That is the gross reality to absolute reality, that is the heavens. So from gross reality to absolute reality is this Rudra is pervading. And the Dhanus in his hand is your mind. That mind that is held by this Rudra, that is your mind, will connect you from personal reality to absolute reality. And when you connect to that, you are threatening all these senses who always want to pull you into personal reality. So the senses are pulling you back into this gross reality. Gross means that which is mundane reality. Let's call it that way. So therefore, the master of senses, so-called Indra, wants to continuously disrupt this process. That's why when a rishi is doing an incredible tapas, the fellow feels threatened, and then first he uses the damsels that to send. That's all mythology, but a symbolic mythology. So distractions come, huge wind will come, fire will come, rain will come, beautiful damsels will come, everything will come. If you are not really grounded in that absolute reality, then what will happen? You become a Vishwamitra. You open your eyes, Sa Manaka. Oh, what a beauty! Let's go. Now gone. Absolute reality thrown out of window. So that's why this Indra keeps on using his tools to pull you back into this relative world. So he said, oh, this guy's bow, this beautiful bow of this person is now in the hand of Rudra. And this fellow has not only in the hand of Rudra, he has put his head on it, and he is beautifully taking a nap on his mind. Now let me cut this string off of this mind. And then what happened? He came and he bit off the string of that bow. Then your absolute reality is disconnected from everything, and that is what is falling off. Your awareness of absolute reality is cut off, and it has fallen off. To reunite this back onto yourself is what is called pravargyam. Now what can you now that story didn't make any damn sense. This story, this symbolic story, is so real, and it is so appealing, and it is it is not Hindu religious bound. All the characters are symbolic, and the character symbolism associated with this mantra then is giving an incredible, beautiful revelation that hey, you are constantly being pulled off, and your connection to the divine reality is constantly being challenged by your own senses. And when that happens, you are cut off from all this absolute reality, and please reunite to that absolute reality through this yajna, the sacrifice. Then you will ever be eternal, and you will not be again harmed by another Indra who disconnects you from your absolute reality. That is the symbolic story. Are we all now? What is this pravargyam? This pravargyam, this ritual, as I mentioned, is performed during Agnistoma, Vajapeya, Atiratra, Jyotishtoma, Arunaketuka Chayana. All these yajnas perform this ritual called pravargyam. And this pravargyam, what they do is they take a clay pot. Please listen to this carefully. They take a clay pot, and in that clay pot, they put ghee, and that ghee is taken to the boiling point. And that pot is what is called Rudra's head. They worship that pot as they invoke Rudra and everything. They put this ghee, they boil this ghee. And when that ghee has reached its total boiling point, then they take sanctified cow milk or goat milk, and they take it and they pour it into this boiling ghee that creates a massive explosion of the ghee, almost looks like that of a nuclear explosion. It creates a nuclear explosion. You all want to see how that looks like? Let me. This is a. Now I am not leaving in looking at all these mantras. We are not leaving the ritual. We went through the symbolic, beautiful aspect of it. If you leave the ritual and say all that ritual is nonsense, sir, I am only a spiritual person, then what you are is actually not a spiritual person. Let's see here. Let me pull that back. Okay. Are you all seeing my screen? Somebody say
Yeah,
yes, please.
yeah.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
Okay.
I mean, screen is there, but no, nothing.
Blackened.
Black.
The
No,
screen
it
is
came.
black.
No, it came back.
Now it came back.
Okay. Let me see here if this video still works. I have to enable the. Okay, sound doesn't matter. Just see if this video works. Okay, see now. What happened? Okay, the
Okay, I
Ritvik is
think
now.
We are seeing the wrong screen, Anna.
Word document. We are seeing this.
Your comments, sir.
All right. Let's see here. All right. Let's stop this. Oh, it's too much. I am too. Where is my Zoom thing? It's too many windows going on here. Desktop 2. Sound. Okay, this is desktop 2. I should share. Are you seeing the picture with the Ritvik there?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me see. He has put the pot, and then the ghee is there in the pot. Of course, there is, of course, fire. And then with this huge ladle, at the tip of the ladle, he is taking sanctified milk. And now he is putting that into that ghee. This is pravargyam, what they're doing. Now he is pouring. Oh, come on, please pour. Everybody's waiting. He has to pour very slowly and extremely carefully. Now he has poured that. Now you can see it's causing the explosion, almost like a nuclear explosion. You see that? Yeah,
Yes.
that is Pravargyam. Okay, let me put it on full screen. This is Pravargyam, where you can see that it caused an explosion. It's also now bringing down the whole Yajnashala is now brought down. During Atiratram, they actually burned the whole Yajnashala down. This is what is called Pravargyam. So now what happened? The Rudra's head, which is in the pot, is now reunited with the heavens. That is the mantra that we just learned. Rudrasya sasiraf pratidadhati. Now it's repeating now. You can see there. He's putting the, it's incredible. You can see the title of the Pravargya Homam. This is what is Pravargyam. Okay, what time is it? Oh, it's 15 minutes over. Yeah, that's massive, massive. Now observe the colors. I want you to observe the colors. How many colors are seen in this Pravargya? You see, you can see there is a Tamra, there is Aruna, there is white color. All see, look at that blood red color. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Blood red color. Blood red color, orange color, white, yellow, all the different colors you can actually see in that Pravargya. This is the, okay. Incredible, no? Okay. I will put the link to this video in the class transcript, so don't worry about it. You don't have to write down the video link. That is what is called Pravargyam. And in this Pravargyam, the what is there is now, what does it mean that you won't get hurt? There is also every single word, every single word. So the colors that you have seen as the spectrum of colors and the heat that is produced during this time, it actually, people have done experiments, environmentalists have done experiments after the Pravargyam was done during this Homa, and it actually eliminates all kinds of viruses and microbials that are associated with that harm the individuals. And that is Nainagum Rudra Aruko Bhavati. Na Enam Rudra Aruko Bhavati. Rudra also comes to harm. How does he comes to harm? In the food. Now when you go back and read the Rudram only, see everything everything in the context of Rudram, Nilagriva Siddhikantha, then what? Ye Anneshu Vividhyanti Patreshu Pibato Janan. So those Rudras that are present in what you drink, what you eat, can be present as microbes that can potentially cause harm. And that is what, for those who are connected to this, connected to what? Connecting their personal reality through relative reality to the absolute reality, which is the Bhau. And in this context of the colors that are there, the color spectrum has different temperatures associated with them. And Rudrasya Sasiraha Pratidadhati. So now, what is the name of the Ritu we are studying in Sanskrit? What is the name?
Shishira.
Shishira Rutu.
Shira.
Shira.
Sashiraha became Shishiraha. That is my personal observation. Kalidas Kavitvam Konta, Mana Paithyam Konta. So there is a Sashira, Shishira. Shishira Rutu. Shira is a head. Shishira, reuniting of the Shira. Sashira, Shishira. Rudrasya Sashiraf Pratidadhati. Because with all this cold, your head is cut off, no? With all the winter, the freezing cold, everything, and when the incredible, fiercely cold wind is heading, have you observed that in Chicago? My God, in winter season, all your ears became numb. your nose is about to fall off, so your head is cut off, and then you get a head. When you have a head cold, how do you feel? Your head is cut off. Reunite the head, becomes reunited. Sishiraf pratidadhati. I wonder if it is anything to do with replacing this wood. Incidentally, so that is the name of the Rutu, and then we continue the description of the Shishira Rutu next Sunday when we come back with the 17th mantra. Rakshapada Brashtam Chandrasekhara.
ॐ यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं तु यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देव नारायण नमोऽस्तु ते विसर्गबिन्दुमात्राणि पदपादाक्षराणि च न्यूनानि चातिरिक्तानि क्षमस्व साईश्वर अपराधसहस्राणि क्रियन्ते हर्निशं मया दासोऽयमिति मां मत्वा क्षमस्व साईश्वर अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष साईश्वर हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्री साईश्वरार्पणमस्तु।
Pasted the link also. They're very curious. Is this uncle showing the real thing or not? Oh, okay. The class link will be in the transcript. The transcript for yesterday's class is already posted. The inner significance. Brihaspati and his son. Oh, yes. Thank you. I forgot two characters. Thank you. Somebody is paying attention to this. No? Who is Brihaspati? Symbolic character.
Jupiter.
Supreme intelligence.
Knowledge.
Jupiter, what order? Jupiter entered.
Knowledge. Guru of Devdas.
Bruhatpati, the master, the supreme master. That's the question. These questions are very tricky. If you give the relative answer, I'll tell the absolute answer. And if you tell the absolute answer, then I will ask what is the relative answer. The point is that you have to always be connected from your personal reality to relative reality to absolute reality. That is the whole point of it. If you are only caught up in relative reality, make sure that you are not leaving the absolute reality behind. If you are only caught up in absolute reality, then you are full of spirit and you are not in present to what is around you. So therefore, spiritual living is integrating those three, not just being one of it, integrating those three constantly. The relative reality is you can be a perfect chanter, absolutely realized soul, but if you don't come and be part of Sangha, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami, then no matter how realized you are, it is of uselessness. Therefore, even a great saint like Adi Shankara, he came into the relative world. He taught bhakti to people. He wrote so many stotrams. He engaged in so many rituals, established the mathas at the four corners of India so that people never forget what is ritual, what is Veda, what is Shastra. And don't talk philosophy and then say that all these rituals are useless, or only don't do rituals and not connect to this. So therefore, Brihaspati is from a relative point of word, from a mythological point of view, he is the guru of the Devas. But Brihaspati, when we studied Swastina Indro Vrdhasrava, Swastina Pusha Vishwaveda, Swastina Starksho Arishtanemihi, Swastino Brihaspatir Dadhatu. Brihaspati means supreme master, and that supreme master is the master of the intellect, and therefore Shem is the intellect, and Brihaspati is the supreme master. So therefore this bow, this bow belonged to Rudra and originally belonged to Rudra. Then it came to the intellect. So intellect is the closest to the supreme reality. You understand? Supreme reality is Satchitananda. The next level is the supreme intellect. Therefore, the bhav is passed on to the intellect. Arre. Very good. Thank you for asking that question. I see there is so much to really contemplate upon here. So now write down the characters, their symbolism, what this pravargya is, and this pravargya is reuniting Rudra's head. And so let's not be headless fellows. So put the head back on and then be in connection to the personal, relative, and absolute realities. Jai Sai Ram. Any other questions? Many people
So-
are already PhDs.
And I was on one point, I was thinking that, when we studied Rudram, you taught us that the string is the desire. So on one point, I was thinking, wow, this Indra is eating away the string. That means eating away the desire. Then, I was thinking from that point of view. But then he
Ah,
became the
yeah.
villain.
No. The context of that is that bow is that of the mind. Pramuncha dhanvanaha, that is the mantra you are talking about. Pramuncha dhanvana dhanvanastvam ubhayoh artni yoh jam yaschate hasta ishavav parata bhagavo. That's the mantra, right? There is symbolically associated with the stillness. Here in this story, it is like connecting the yajna, the ritual part, with the symbolic aspect of it. Okay, and that is the way, at least I understood it from the interpretation. Okay, next question. Okay, no more questions. Oh,
One
Ne-
no.
yeah, who
You
is
said
that?
that
Yes.
personal reality, relative reality, and
Who
absolute
is
reality.
speaking? Who is speaking? Wait.
I'm
I have to see the. Who is speaking? Please identify yourself.
yeah. I'll raise my hand maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Neha. Okay. Yes. Okay.
So and you said that from personal reality, we can, I mean, when you explained about that relative reality is like Shankaracharya also went in and did all that for the world, right? So it's like seva or connecting with everyone else, right? So it means that can we not go from, is it like not, we cannot move from personal reality to absolute reality directly? It is through relative reality that we have to move ahead into the absolute reality. Is that
Oh,
what you could
answer
say?
is answer is answer is yes and no.
Okay.
Okay. Answer is yes. You want to know the yes first or no first?
Um, both. Yes. Okay. First, yes.
First, yes. Okay. For those that are constantly indulged in the body and the mind, identified with the body and the mind, then that answer is right. Expansion is my life. And then you create this satsang in which you continue to connect to the personal and absolute through the relative reality. Okay. The answer is no, also because when you burn a camphor, so solid goes to liquid, liquid goes to vapor, right? Correct? Huh? Does it have to go through that process? If solid is gross reality and liquid is relative reality, vapor is, I'm just using as a metaphor here, then solid becomes liquid, liquid becomes vapor. But does it
Directly.
have to be like, what's that called, process called?
Sublimation.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. People are still for camphor. Take the example of camphor. Camphor goes directly from solid to gaseous state without going through the intermediate state. But the beauty is when you are in that state of that supreme reality or absolute reality, coming back into relative reality is the most hardest thing. And therefore, many people will decide to abandon themselves into forests and go sit in the forest, and therefore they will not be in the relative world. You understand? But
Yes.
it is only the greatest of the greatest, as in supreme jnanis or avatars. Although they are in absolute reality, they pull themselves into relative reality to set themselves as role models and examples in relative reality. Those are Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Babas. Those are the Adi Shankaracharyas. Those are the ones that are in absolute reality, but are also expand into relative reality through their will, not because of a process. The process is for those who need to be realized. For the realized, it is actually the avatar. That is what it means from coming down. Avatar means coming down. Coming down from where? From that absolute reality, they come into relative reality. And then in doing that, right? In doing that, through love and through compassion and through service, they share their wisdom and they shine. Those are the Buddhas. Those are the enlightened. Understand? The Buddhas have to go through the process.
Yes, we all.
I didn't qualify anybody here. You are all Buddhas only. Okay, Sai Ram. Next, any other question?
Sairam,
So
Anna.
Yes, Chandrasekhar.
So Anna, how is the string attached back to the bow? Anna? We listened to that. The head was kept back, but
How is the string
first
tied? Huh?
straight back because the
Mm,
Indra cut off the string, but
mm.
how it is attached back to the bow.
The bow is no longer falling. This is Indradhanush is falling back on earth. I didn't touch the symbolic aspect of it. So, if your awareness is going from only gross to gross and never raising above, then that is Indradhanush. It looks very beautiful, multicolored. That is the world. You are in the world, but you are falling back into the world. That is Indradhanush, which never belonged to him. This Dhanush never belonged to Indra, the master of the senses or the ruler of the senses. So that Dhanush that has risen from senses will always fall back into the senses. And it looks so beautiful, but it is only temporary. It doesn't last too long. But then when it is there, you are again caught upon it and they say, oh, what a beautiful Dhanush. Look at that rainbow. Now two of them. And you are engrossed in it. And that's the purpose of this world. It creates this multi-colored delusion and makes it appear, and you caught up in it, and you have never risen out of it. See how symbolic this story is? So that's how you look at your relative world. Look at this relative world, how beautiful it is. Why do I need to go any out of it? But you have not realized that is only temporal, that is only transitionary, that is only relative, and it has to disappear the moment that rain droplet and that beautiful phenomena doesn't. It's all Maya. Maya kalpita deshakala kalana vaichitriya chitri kritam. The prism is the Maya. The light ray is the divinity. This Maya, through time, space, and identity, has given this dispersion of the absolute reality into this beautiful rainbow. Don't get caught up in it because that rainbow is very transitory. It's going to disappear. Now, this bow, after it is reunited, doesn't have a string, and that string is the desire. But it is still Pramuncha Dhanvanastvam Ubhayoratniyorjam Yaschate Hastaishavav Parata Bhagavo Vapa. You don't need to have a desire to connect you from gross reality to absolute reality. It's one straight bow, but without the string. And that is the beauty of it.
So once that happens, Anna, then Indra can never shake or
No, don't worry about Indra. Indra is irrelevant.
No,
Does
because
that
Anna.
mean? No, I understand. Because I'm just making it a light. The story, the symbolism, what we studied today is an incredible, phenomenal metaphor that even though it apparently tries to describe some season and what's happening during a season, this is what is happening in our life all the time. But the point here is, it doesn't mean it's a useless bow. It doesn't mean it is a This is the Rudram. Now go back, chant, look at the mantras from Pramuncha Dhanvanastva, Avatatya Dhanustvagam Sahasraksha, Vijjan Dhanukapatino Visalyo Banavagam, Namaste Astva Yudhayana Tatay Drishnave, Parite Parino. All those mantras now, when you chant the last portion, the last starting from mantra number 10, start all the way to 15 in the first Anuvaka. What is that bow which is unstringed but still is connecting? What does that do? Go back to Rudrajnana Yajna. That describes what is the bow without the string. That's why Aruna Prashna, Rudrajnana Yajna, and these are the three those three together becomes charm. 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 That is the charm. And in which the C is the Chandi, and you take the C off, you only have harm. So Chandi is the connection point. Chandi is the connection between that absolute reality and gross reality. Where she is, that Chandi is the Maya, that Chandi is the prism, and therefore she is the one she can either turn you toward Indradhanus or turn you to Rudradhanus. The bow and the arrow and the blunted arrow. Now we'll go back to Rudram. The blunted arrow, the bow without a string. Namaste astvayudhayana tataya drishnave ubhabhyamutate namo bahubhyantava dhanvane. Parite dhanvano hetirasman vrunakta vishwataha atho yayishudhestavare asmannidhehi tam. These are now I'm not chanting Rudram. There's no chanting of Rudram. Rudram is a being. And that being is actually giving this. Before that, you are simply a reflection, not in perfection. Now you are this incredible source itself, but without the string. That's a beautiful observation, by the way. Beautiful observation. Now see how important the relatives to what seems to be a irrational, mythological, ritualistic story. What seemed to be, now you understood when you learned the mantras in the beginning of the class, none of that was making any damn sense. Now suddenly you connect this back. Now it has become what a beautiful bow. Divyasya dhanuhu. Divyasya dhanuhu. Ekaha. That is the unique bow. The uniqueness of this bow is it is going from earth to heavens, but without a string tied to it. No strings attached. We are the bows with no strings attached. How we use these sentences and words now become incredibly. Now, when Buddhist monk went to his master and asked the question, can monks send emails? And the master said, yes, but without attachments. Enada, Tambi, Somo, wake up. Without attachments. Okay, let us do let's have a life like the bows that go from earth to heaven, but without any strings attached. That is the Divyasya Ekaha. Dhanuhu. Jai Sai Ram. All right, 10 minutes more than what you need. Okay. There are no more questions. Oh, yes, Sham. Sham, okay, what does Sham mean? That is the question actually is asking. The Sham also Tachanyora Gatam Yajnaya Gatum Yajnapataye, the Tacham. Tat plus Sham became Tacham. That is the Sandhi. Tat plus Sham. There the Sham Shabdam is Shanchame, Mayashchame. There is the Sham Shabdam. Then there is a Sham Shabdam. Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha. Shanno Bhavatvaryama. There is the Sham Shabdam. What is the meaning of word Sham? You all learnt in Chamakam. What is the meaning of the word Sham?
You said
Happiness.
intellect just now.
Yeah, just don't give any answer you want. What is the meaning of the word Sham?
Happiness.
Who said happiness? Okay, somebody is happy. Oh, yeah, Sham is happiness. Yes, that is correct. Sham also means bliss. So supreme intellect's son means the supreme master's son or the progeny, the outcome of a supreme master or a supreme intellect is Shem, means being happy without any cause or reason. Now, every word in where there is absolutely no connection to any, for this body and this mind, there is absolutely those words, what they mean in relative terms, are only pointers. They are important, but you should not hold on to them. You should leave that. And then when you leave that and you connect to what it is actually telling, then there is no religion involved. There is no, all of that will, but then it will come back to relative reality, to to chant these mantras, like like we were chanting about Varuna, Agni, Vayu, all these things. You are in absolute reality, but relatively you have an idol to worship, relatively you have a ritual to do, relatively, but hold on to the ideal. So Bruhatpati is Bruhaspati. That Bruhaspati or Bruhatpati, Pati means protector, Bruhat means that which is all expansive. The protection of all expansive consciousness automatically results in Shem, which is bliss in the relative world. That is the meaning of the word Shem. Okay, Prasanna Kumari asked that question. Okay, Sairam. Then
Thank you,
let's
Anand.
close it.
Saram.
Sairam. ॐ स्वस्तिः प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की।